Good morning. I just got through watching the most recent, I don't know if it's the most recent, but it's the most recent on my timeline, teaching from Michael Pearl. And it turns out it's actually a week old. And his teaching was on marriage. And I'm sure that he's taught on it before, but for some reason today, I got an inspiration, like a visualization, if you will, is what it normally is to me. It's like an image to help me better understand things or put it in a perspective that makes sense to me. And it may seem simple to everybody else, but this is what I got. So, of course, he referenced, that's my stove. Of course, he referenced the part where the man is to be the head. And whenever he told about that, I've never really thought about that before, but I imagined it as a literal head. How if, it takes in food to provide for the body, the brain, whenever it works normally, the brain is supposed to control all the functions. And a lot of times when, even without physically thinking about it, it just does it. It's its job. It pumps its heart. The electric activity from the brain controls your breathing, controls all the organs to work properly. You don't have to tell it to. You don't have to make it. It's what it's just supposed to do. And the body, in a sense, it didn't, the verse doesn't really say that the woman is the body, but that's what's left. If the man is the head, then that would mean from the neck down is the woman, and the woman the same sense. Now then, she doesn't have to do those things. Like, I could go my whole life never using this hand. I could keep it balled up out of spite if I wanted to. Now then, it would hurt eventually, and eventually it would just die. It would just become stiff like this, and I would never be able to move it again. That is what it's like for a marriage that, with the two parts not working together. If a man tries to control the woman instead of just things moving naturally, if he tries to rule with an iron fist, he's not loving, he's not caring. It would be the equivalent of, say, whenever the hand accidentally drops a dish. Instead of the head working to, let's get this together, let's clean this up, it would be the equivalent of to the head biting the hand. Like, that doesn't make sense. But yet there are marriages and their husbands and that try to work that way. And then the equivalent, I guess, there would be, in a relationship where there's an abusive woman. I don't know what you would do about. That's not funny. I'm sorry, that's not funny. But in my analogy, it doesn't really work for everything. But maybe somebody can come up with a better analogy to fit that woman in, an abusive woman in. But in either case, they definitely need prayer, and they definitely need guidance from their elders. And that's a big thing too. I have seen so many times people fall apart because they feel like that they need to keep this to themselves, me included. I had suffered, many times in the past being stubborn and not going to a religious leader, for guidance, for encouragement. I guess that's why partly the reason why it says that we need to gather ourselves together as we see the day approaching. People need that community. Even if you don't like everybody at your church, you're going to need somebody. At some point, you're going to need somebody. Anyway, I'm sorry this is a little bit weird. But it just, like I said, that visual of man being a literal head made me think about, how the two sides would work together. And I'm going to try to reference that teaching in the comments so that if you'd like to watch it too, you can, or watch any of his other videos. He's, like I said, very wise, very just real. And I hope everybody has a great day.